Good evening. This is Rashad Mitchell coming to you live from my YouTube channel. It's like a on my part series. The week that was college football's history and review, the 1957 college football season. Now I was getting to September 28th, 1957. This is week 2, September 28th, 1957. First, I'm going to start on the game that was played on Friday between UCLA and Illinois on September 27th, 1957. UCLA beat Illinois by a score of 16-6. So even with Illinois outgaining UCLA 289 to 220 as far as yards are concerned of offense, well-schooled Bruins controlled play all night. UCLA fullback defensive back Ray Smith recovered fumble by Illini halfback Dale Smith at Illinois 28-yard line midway through the first quarter. Tailback kicker Kirk Wilson, and part of Bruins tailback triumphant, scored on 4th and 2 run from the 6-yard line, but his kick was blocked. Tackle Bill Leaker blocked second quarter punt by Illini quarterback punter Bill Holler, and after end Dick Wallen made brilliant one-handed grab. UCLA fullback Barry Billington launched himself over Illinois defensive front into the end zone, when rules prohibited UCLA's best kicker Don Duncan from being reinserted in game. Quarterback kicker Steve Gertzman, surprised by increasing Bruins lead to 16-0 with 35-yard field goal just before halftime. Illinois halfback Bobby Mitchell lost fumble on Bruins 14-yard line when hit hard by wingback defensive back Bill Mason. But Illinois followed that failed 66-yard drive, 91 yards trip to pay dirt in the fourth quarter. Sub halfback Don Grove tallied. Boston College beat Florida State 20-7 as far steadier than its opener against Navy. Boston College masters two precise touchdown drives of 82 and 81 yards in first and third quarters. Eagles sharp quarterback Don Allard wrapped up quick 33-yard march in fourth quarter for 20-0 lead when he rolled out and zipped 5-yard touchdown pass to end defensive end John Flanagan, who starred on both sides of the ball. Outgained 381 yards to 113 yards, Florida State finally broke from its cuffs and diamonds to create a 65-yard march. Seminoles quarterback Ted Rodriguez threw 23-yard scoring pass to ace and Ronnie Schomburger. 42-0 was the score between Army over Nebraska. Black Knight sophomore halfback Bob Anderson, future Hall of Famer, was introduced to unaware Nebraska and admiring West Point crowd as Army surged to overwhelming victory that featured 341 yards rushing on Army's first series. Anderson swept 27 yards behind fullback Van Barter's block to set up his 6-yard draw run for touchdown. Anderson's halfback partner Pete Dawkins scored later in first quarter after Anderson and quarterback Dave Berlin each completed pass. Fullback Harry Walters, biggest gainer of game with 129 yards on 21 carries, barreled 28 yards on first snap of second quarter to set up Barter's score for 21-0 edge. And Barlin hit in Bill Graff for 17-yard touchdown pass 8 minutes later. Cornhuskers were limited to single threat late in the second quarter when fullback linebacker George Schieffer made fumble recovery at Cadets' 12-yard line. Scatback halfback Benny Dillard slipped around in for touchdown, so it was called back for motion and penalty. Nebraska died on downs at 5-yard line. Syracuse played against Iowa State, where it resulted in a 7-7 tie. A sophomore tailback Dwight Nichols was cornerstone of Iowa State's surprising effort as he launched a tying touchdown drive early in the fourth quarter. Nichols abandoned ground game through sharp 13 12-yard passes to end Jim Stuckey, and then arched 27-yard touchdown pass to end Brian Dennis. Meanwhile, Syracuse had scored late in the third quarter when Orangemen marched 70 yards to sophomore fullback Art Baker's 7-yard touchdown gallop. Late game Orangemen thrust, which started at Syracuse's 42-yard line, died at Cyclone's 7-yard line. Syracuse had stats picnic 240 yards to 120 yards rushing advantage and 290 yards to 179 yards overall edge, but many of Orange's yards came at midfield. Columbia beat Brown 23-20 as new Lions coach Buff Donnelly unwrapped new quarterback, and it turned out to be his son Dick, who threw 2 touchdown passes. When young Dick enrolled at Columbia in 1955, his father coached Boston University, and Dick had expressed desire to skip pressure of being coached by his family member. Dick's success and Coach Buck's Columbia debut was a surprise, because heavily favored Brown, one of several preseason Ivy title favorites, led 14-13 at halftime, outgained Lions 317 yards to 226 yards by game's end, and got touchdown runs from fullbacks Bob Topping and Paul Choquette and halfback Jack McTeague, but suffered 7 turnovers. So with game knotted at 2020, second chance, winning fourth quarter field goal by Lions fullback kicker Rudy Pagoraro came after his first field goal try was so low from 35 yards that it filtered through Columbia line, only to be recovered for extraordinarily lucky first down by Lions tackle Ed Eskinbaum. West Virginia shut out Virginia Tech 14-0 as Mountaineers completed no passes, but their fierce defense at 283 yards running game allowed them to dominate the game. 283-yard running game. Poor Gobbler's punt set up West Virginia at Virginia Tech 34-yard line in the second quarter. Losing fullback Larry Kuko scored from 1-yard line on 6th play. West Virginia guard Bob Gunther fell on fumble at own 45-yard line in the fourth quarter. Halfback Ray Peterson's runs paved way to halfback Ralph Anastasios 7-yard sprint to touchdown. Held completely in track and not crossing West Virginia 40-yard line. So West Virginia Tech and Carroll Dale blocked Anastasio's midfield punt. Virginia Tech quarterback defensive back Billy Holesclaw scooped ball and made it to the Mountaineers 12-yard line. Battling West Virginia defense held on downs at 7-yard line. Number 19, Mississippi beat Kentucky by a score of 15-0 as Wildcats welcomed deep Mississippi team to bluegrass country and popped Rebs right in the mouth, because Kentucky slipped sophomore halfback Glenn Shaw away for 49-yard gain on early 90-yard movement to 3-yard line where drive died. Teams left at halftime tied at no score. It took second string quarterback quick little Bobby Franklin to launch Ole Miss offense. After sparkling threat in the second quarter, Franklin was reinserted in the third quarter to lead 61-yard scoring trip to his 11-yard pass to end Larry Grantham. Rebels starting quarterback Ray Brown returned to sprint 13 yards at end of a 53-yard touchdown march for a 13-0 lead. Ole Miss end Ralph Smith blocked punt in fourth quarter for safety. Kentucky quarterback defensive back Lowell Hughes earned high marks by stopping 2 drives with interceptions and got Cats moving late with his passes on 88-yard drive stopped at the 2-yard line. Shutout was performed by Auburn 7-0. Number 18 team in the country in Tennessee was shut out 7-0 as the Auburn's Lloyd Nix, halfback newly converted to quarterback, led upset of defending SEC champs and Chili Rain. In first quarter, Tennessee turned back fourth down, thrust of Auburn. Halfback Tommy Lorino inches from goal line. Volunteer tailback Bobby Gordon put it out 45 yards and Volunteers held again at own 7-yard line. Tennessee guard Bill Johnson blocked first quarter punt and to create first down at Tiger 17-yard line, but Auburn nose guard Zeke Smith threw Gordon for 3-yard loss, and Auburn and Jim Phillips recovered fumble on next play at 18-yard line. Tigers' winning march of 57 yards was created in second quarter when Jerry Wilson got Paul on Tennessee's tailback Al Carter's punt, and ball carried only 6 yards to Auburn 43-yard line. Nix completed his only pass of the day to end Jerry Wilson for 10 yards to help position fullback Billy Atkins' short touchdown run. Magnificent Tiger defense held Volunteers to 84 yards of offense to stop fourth quarter advances to 23 and 29-yard lines. Number 3 Georgia Tech defeated number 15 Southern Methodist. Georgia Tech, number 3 team in the country, played against number 15 Southern Methodist in this matchup in a 0-0 tie. Southern Methodist fullback punter Dave Shearer's 13 booming punt boots pierced wind and rain clouds to pin Georgia Tech deep in its own territory all day. And it's in all day. So in the second half, workhorse Engineers fullback Larry Fonts led drives of 70 and 74 yards, which died without points. Sophomore quarterback Don Meredith bobbled away Southern Methodist only scoring chance at the Georgia Tech 14-yard line. Number 4, Michigan State shut out Indiana 54-0. As number 4, Michigan State launched Big Ten season with thumping on Indiana, touchdowns still were being scored deep to the fourth quarter as 67 different Spartan was on field. Michigan State rushed for 441 yards and completed its first 11 passes for 129 yards. Halfback Walt Kowacic scored opening touchdown. Halfback Blanche Martins added 2 scores. Hoosiers held to 80 yards of offense, managed only 1 scoring opportunity, so it came in the fourth quarter as fullback linebacker Charlie Kelly carried interception to Michigan State 24-yard line, but 16 yards was lost on next 2 plays. Next, Texas Christian defeated Ohio State by a score of 18-14. Taking page from Buckeyes coach Woody Hayes' book, TCU won without completing a single pass in just 3 tries, which included interception by Ohio State. Frogs gained 184 yards rushing, but key play came in second quarter on halfback Jim Schaffner's 9 yards punt return that provided 12-7 edge. Defensive back punter Schaffner also recovered fumble and pinned Ohio State at its 6 and 7 yard lines with long punts. Horned Frogs came from deficits twice, 7-6 and 14-12. Smashed 2 late Ohio State bids at 5 and 20 yard lines. Bucks outgained TCU 262 yards to 184 yards and got touchdowns on 2-yard runs from halfback Dick LeBeau and Don Clark that provided 14-12 halftime edge. TCU fullback Jack Spikes earned a decisive touchdown on the 16-yard run early in the third quarter after defensive end Chico Mendoza recovered fumble at Buckeyes' 31-yard line. Notre Dame shut out Purdue by a score of 12-0. It was hardly rousing Fighting Irish victory in traditional Rockne O'Leahy, but after the 1956 disastrous 2-8 campaign, 6-0 lead that held up all day was welcome medicine. Notre Dame drove 76 yards to tote 6-point edge second time it touched the ball. It didn't tally again until last 101 of fourth quarter. Strong defenses on both sides and myriad of opening game blunders could be blamed for the long scoreless stretch. Irish halfback Dick Lynch squirmed 12 yards to tally in the first quarter, and new Notre Dame quarterback Bob Williams launched 58-yard toss to end Bob Wotowski to set up his 8-yard touchdown pass to halfback Frank Reynolds in game's dying moments. Purdue stopped advanced at its 13-yard line in the second quarter, which ended with the Notre Dame halfback kicker R.B. Lewis missed for a field goal, and at its 4-yard line on downs in the third quarter. Boilermakers' best ground games were his punters, Kenny Mikes and Clyde Washington, as Purdue was forced to punt 11 times and gain 337 yards in field position. Best Boilermakers' march was ruined by a 12-yard loss inflicted on quarterback Bob Spoo at Irish 32-yard line. Number 6 Minnesota beat Washington by a score of 46-7. Former Huskies quarterback Bobby Cox ignored Ankle Payne and led Big Ten cold favorites number 6 Minnesota to 4 touchdown drives. Cox got Gophers winging early when Washington lost midfield fumble at the opening kickoff. Cox threw a 10-yard touchdown to end John Jalachic on 6th play of 51-yard trip. Gophers gained 550 yards of offense. Gophers game featured fullback Bob Blakey's 2 touchdowns. Day's most dazzling play was provided by Washington fullback Jim Jones, who took the second half kickoff 91 yards to score. So in front of happy record crowd at Memorial Stadium, Brickhouse, big Minnesota defense limited Huskies to 105 yards of offense, included only 2 for 5, 13 yards in the air. Number 16, Stanford beat Northwestern 26-6. Typically pass-oriented, Stanford trotted out squadron of backs who smashed for 251 yards on the ground to complement 13 of 27 for 158 yards in the air, led by quarterback Jack Douglas. Stanford received touchdowns from halfback Jer McMillan and sub-fullback Gil Gishay, who was in for injured Lou Valley, which provided 13-0 lead late in the third quarter. Coming off 3 wins to close 1956, the favorite Northwestern was penalized a whopping 140 yards and saw 2 drives in the first half halted inside Indians' 20-yard line. Wildcats created wild 36-yard fourth quarter touchdown out of desperation on hook and ladder play. Quarterback Chip Holcomb passed it in Fred Williamson, who flipped lateral to Big Ten sprint champ halfback Wilmer Fowler, scored, founted Northwestern into manageable 13-6 deficit with 10:31 left. But Stanford answered with decisive 88-yard sortie that ended in third-team fullback Rick McMillan's 10-yard touchdown run. So that concludes a look at the games that were played on September 28th, including the game that was played on September 27th on the Friday between UCLA and Illinois. So let's give you the AP poll as of September 30th, 1957. Oklahoma was number 1, number 2 Michigan State, number 3 Minnesota, number 4 Duke, number 5 Texas A&M, number 6 Navy, number 7 Auburn, number 8 Iowa, number 9 Oregon State, number 10 Michigan, number 11 Baylor, number 12 Army, number 13 North Carolina State, number 14 Georgia Tech, number 15 Mississippi, number 16 Notre Dame, number 17 Stanford, number 18 Texas Christian, number 19 UCLA, and number 20 Texas, excuse me. Number 19 UCLA, number 20 Texas. That concludes a look at the week that was college football's history and review, 1957 college football season, as I talked about the games that were played on September 28th, 1957, including the game that was played on September 27th, 1957 on the Friday between UCLA and Illinois. September 28th, 1957. That's the week 2 matchups. September 28th. So next time I do a video that dealing with the series, it will be about the question in October, the 3rd week of the college football season of 1957. I'll be getting to the month of October as I continue to recap the games that were played in 1957. Please like, subscribe, comment, do what you can to support this channel. This is Rashad Mitchell. Until then, talk to you tomorrow.